Hey y'all, this is Sound on Tape, chopping it with Creative Mindset. Two dope dudes about to have a great conversation. Shout out to all the creatives out there. Tune in.
Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Mindset. Today we have a very special guest. And I know I say that every episode, but this is not an understatement. Today, this is going to be a two-peat. Next week, we're going to have a three-peat, I promise you. This guy right here is a musical genius. I'm talking about producer. I'm talking about as a musician, real musician, playing real instruments. You may have known him as Marcus Allen Ward. Creative Mindset family, today we bring you Sound on Tape.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you for coming, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Man, you know, it's always that generic icebreaker, but how you feeling today, man?
Good, real good, man. Real good. Real on point today, for sure.
That's good. That's good to hear. So I want to jump right in
Yeah.
because I got hip to you at the grog shop when you opened up for the internet, man. And like I'm talking about a performer, you know what I mean? Entertainer. Like you hit the spin, you was playing the guitar, you was singing, like shit was fire,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
And like I'm talking about like, you know, on them old movies how they show the musicians be sweating. You was
You
up there
ready?
working, bro. And I had to go home and download that music because you know it's always after you say a song, hey, you can find this on all streaming platforms. So to go from as Marcus Allen Ward and then what birthed Sound on Tape?
Sound on Tape has been a project for about 2.5 years at this point, going on 3 years.
Mhm.
Marcus Allen Ward, obviously that's my birth name, but before that it was Freeze Tag. So the first song I made was an electronic dance music song, when I was in college. And then I went off, and I mean, my guitar was my first instrument.
Mhm.
So I went and did the guitar thing, which you saw with internet. I was playing guitar then,
Mhm.
right? So went off, played guitar for some years, and then yeah, made like all types of psychedelic music, psychedelic electronic music, psychedelic rock music. Then I just got, as creatives do, get bored with what you're doing, and went back to making electronic dance music. So that's where I started from. So it really just came full circle. Um, yeah, and I will say, I mean, in this 2 year span, Sound on Tape has been the most successful I've been thus far. So I think it was the right decision to make. Yeah, yeah.
It makes sense. And you know, when you're a fan of something, it can always make me think about like Jay-Z. Like if you want my old shit, buy my old albums. You know
Right,
what I
right, right.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But you know, it takes a creator and a certain type of person to understand to have that vision for you being ahead of your time, because that was a sound that just really wasn't in the city. You know what I mean? And
hmm
then listening to your mixes as sound on tape, it's always been there.
yeah,
It's always been there, but it's was more airy, was more R&B, rock like.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But you know, it takes a person to have a special ear. It's like an acquired taste, you know
hmm
what I mean? But you have been killing it since then, and then now just electronic music, that dance thing is just that's the thing right now that's really popping. So of course, I would say it's a lot more successful because the quality of music as far as with rappers and even with some R&B singers, like the lyrical content is not there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I will say too, like, we definitely have like an R&B resurgence.
Hmm.
With, I mean, Lucky Day, SZA, you name them, Summer, and all these, Leon Thomas, and all, he's bringing real musicianship back as well. But yeah, just to come from R&B, I think the biggest change for me was like I was tired of singing. You know what I mean? Like, so when you're a painter, I feel like, my voice, let's say it was the color blue. You get tired of painting with the color blue, like everything, I was making these colors and all these things, imagine a painting, but then you always got to top the shit with the color blue. And my voice was that, and I got tired of that. So I'm like, I wanna work with other colors to put vocals on these things, because I don't consider that my, primary talent, singing. I'm really a producer and yeah, putting things together like a collage, and a curator.
Hmm.
So to get other vocalists and to work on Sound on Tape has been a joy. Just getting different flavors and different colors to sing on top of my productions. Yeah,
Now I was also curious, is because you talked about the color blue and your voice being blue. Was that blue on that track with Sierra Delane? Them do do do's.
that's me.
I know it was. That's what I said. Why you gonna say you got tired of the color blue and I caught you? I caught you because when I was listening
Yeah,
to it, because
yeah.
again, like when I had reached out to you and we talked about the music thing, I was like, bro, last night I grew tentacles. That's my shit.
Appreciate it,
You
man.
know what I
Thank you.
mean? Like that still gets spent. Like if I play you my playlist every year from the time I start listening to that, at least 3 to 4 of those songs are in
Mhm.
every single year from the time I got hip to it.
Yeah.
And
Appreciate it, man.
I ask that you bless us again. That's the selfishness in me.
Yeah,
Bless us.
yeah.
Come back. Give us an EP, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and even I mean the tracks I make now have my voice in them
Hmm.
just as a background thing, just color. You know what I mean? That's what I like, color and canvas, and yeah, just painting things and dotting things. Um, yeah, and that's what I like vocally. But obviously, Sierra Delane is a better singer than I am, you know, and or Kyle
Apples to
Kidd, or
oranges. Apples to
yeah, it's a
oranges,
different
bro.
thing. But that's what she does, and
Hmm.
that's what Kyle does, and that's what whoever I work with. I mean, that's what they do. They're vocalists, you know. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I love that flavor. But yeah, I like that sounds like tentacles because I took that from that and put that in that. So that's what makes it. It's just stylized, but like Gabriel, I sing that's my own voice still.
Hmm.
So when it's appropriate, yeah, I like to do it, but it's not always appropriate though.
So when I used to, before we had the saturation of people being able to make music, I used to choose music based off album artwork. I was
Mm,
looking at the album artwork of Price, and then
yeah,
even looking at the remixes too. It
yeah,
was um, the black kid with the United States flag on his back. Now, because I told you I'll be hating the guy, but I want to ask you this. I want to shoot in the dark real quick.
mm.
With Price, does that kid on the front of that album of your cover art represent like Black Boy Joy? See,
So it's so
because
I wouldn't say
I got two parts to it.
okay. You want to say the second part?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the second part. And the reason why I asked that is because, listen, which I want to know is Pro Nigga, is that original? Like vocals you had somebody put it together that's not a sample?
The actual pro nigga part.
Yeah, with the vocals on there.
Yeah, that's oh no, that's the original. Yeah, that's Ted Lee
Fire as
talking
fuck.
through narrating. He's kind of narrating the album. Yeah, yeah,
So the reason why I asked that is because with the flag on the back of the boy
yeah.
now, like America's on our built on our backs.
Yeah,
That's why.
exactly. Yeah, that was the theme of the
Mm-hmm.
album. I mean, if you look at because the one with the flag on the back is the alternate cover for the remixes.
Mm-hmm.
Price the front cover is yeah a little black kid that we photographed. Ellen actually photographed that. Shout out to Ellen. So he has like a gold chain like this, but at the end it's a barcode, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just showing a dichotomy of us as African Americans. Like once we were products, we were sold like a real auction block as a product, as a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're hyper consumers, so we buy things, right? So like we're the only race that I can think of that have that story. We were literally sold as products, and now we buy products to more than any other race on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So we're hyper consumers at this point. So that's why I put that price tag on the gold chain is to show like, yeah, he is kind of joyous, and he has a shirt off, and he's he's confident and stuff as we are as black men, and but we adorn ourselves in these things. But it's a chain today. It used to be a chain on our arm, and it's a chain on my neck today. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
that album represents that dichotomy between that story. It's such a unique story as an African American.
So I heard that on Buyers the Product in the beginning when they were saying we was once they stripped us of our value, so we buy things that are of value
Yeah,
to have value.
yeah,
And when you was talking about the consumerism, one of my questions was with the trend being toward getting away from consumerism, going into black excellence, I also think it's a silver lining of we have to be perfectionist,
hmm
because during this time where we've been reinventing ourselves and getting away from certain bad habits, not saying that it's been the majority, but there has been a great number of us that's been changing the tide. I feel like the silver underlining has been we're being overworking ourselves. We're not dealing with our mental health at the capacity that we should, and then we are replacing true work with prescription drugs.
mm.
Do you feel like the narrative is changing in a good way, or do you think the narrative still remains the same that we are inherently still consuming?
Yeah, I think America as a whole, I mean, everybody's is a hyper consumer, you know, if you can. But I mean, black people, you know, we're in a precarious position because when there's struggle and when there's lack, the first thing you do is run entertainment. So that's why we like people love entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Movies, comedy shows, music, things like that. We're the biggest consumers because we're in a hardship, in a bad place. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think in 100 years, black people will look. The American black person will look different than he does right now because now you're seeing new money and black excellence as a thing in the last 15 years, where it'll be more normalized in 100 years. So that's why you see. I hate putting a blanket over races like white people and black people, but as a generalization, when you see white people, they adorn themselves in different things and wear their wealth in different ways, right? So maybe like a $200 polo with no logos, or like just khakis, boat shoes, whatever it is, but whatever. Like they don't wear all this shit that we wear because they're used to having money for 300 years or whatever. They had the access to it first. Once we have that for a couple hundred years, we won't feel the need to wear these things. You know what I'm saying? I believe that in 100 years. Yeah. So no, I think we're moving in a positive direction for sure.
Is that why you asked that question? Like, on do you feel free? Like on the song, I felt like when I was listening to it, I'm like, damn, do I feel free? Because that's immediately because it's a feel good song, but that was the question for me, and I was just like, I don't necessarily feel free when I'm being conditioned to do certain things. Whether it's how to like white noise conditioning.
Yeah.
Is that what the point of the album for you? Is that what you wanted to give across as people to ask themselves certain questions? Because that's how I felt.
Yeah, well, that's good that you came away with that, and I appreciate that. Yeah, it's something that you want to in that particular song. If you're free, say so. But yeah, you want to question: are you free? Let's just say you don't have money for a cell phone, right? Just this cell phone alone, right here, this one here. If you're living life without this, you're free, right? So like
Yeah, that's a fact.
just this alone
That's a fact.
makes no one that has a cell phone is free, right? So even if you don't have internet on it or whatever, Instagram, like your whole, and I'm gonna say algorithm, like outside of algorithm is what you see and consume, right? So outside of just Instagram, your algorithm is what the clothes you wear, who people you talk to on a daily basis, and things like that you consume, right? Just that phone, you're worried about somebody calling you that on a daily basis, even if you don't have Instagram. Now add an extra layer of social media on top of that. That's not freedom. It can never be freedom. And then on top of that, add your own internal monologue going on. You know what I'm saying? And that, I mean, that's not freedom. You know what I'm saying? So now to be free from that is, I think, to be nomadic. Not own many things, and be mentally clean. I mean, that's freedom to me. Yeah.
For the last 2 weeks, I've been coming across these documentaries of people that live in like the Appalachian part of the United States where
Yeah.
they don't have nothing. They have like it was a guy. I actually literally just watched a documentary with a guy who he has an outhouse for his cell phone. It's not even in his house, and he don't
Yeah.
drive a car. He don't have
Wow.
a cell phone. And he was like, "Yeah, I got internet, but they wouldn't sell me a landline without the internet package. So, but he don't have anything to hook it up to. He lives off his land. He grows all his vegetables. He has 3 horses,
Wow. Yeah.
and he's been living like that for about the last 9 years.
Yeah.
Climb trees,
Yeah.
just talk to people. He actually lives an Amish-like lifestyle and kicks it with Amish people, but he's not Amish.
Hmm.
Like to the point, dude walking around with no shoes on.
Yeah. And see that to me is closer to freedom. I mean, you will never be truly free because of the human condition. Like, just being alive and having a consciousness. So you're never really free of thought. But like, um, the way us as African Americans, wherever we came from, vibrational people living off the land and going out and doing physical things, and that I would like to get closer to that as I get older, like have a garden or a farm or something like that, and just be able to ride off into the sunset. Like even dressing nice when you go out, that's not freedom. Because you care. Simply you care. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ever catch me when I'm older in a fucking sweatsuit, dirty, I'm free then. I'm free. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't care no more. That's freedom to me at this point. Yeah. So
I honestly still say you free, man. You get to create whenever you want to as well. You know what I mean? And then you can embrace that freedom too and wear whatever you want, you know? Like look at like Odd Future, you know.
Yeah.
When they came on the scene, they were just, and even though they were younger, but they did whatever they want. There was no standard. You
Hmm.
set the standards. Or even like even though it's a sound, but like how it was with Slump God, Ski Mask and
Hmm. Hmm.
Tentacion, they purposely made their music to clip.
Yeah.
You set that standard.
Right.
And it's easy to do. I know when you step in certain rooms, you do have to kind of fit a part to, you
Yeah.
know, to network and stuff. Like if I went into somewhere where I wanted to build the network and I wanted to represent our nonprofit, I would put on a collared shirt. But for the most part, I'm just this whatever.
Yeah.
This is what you see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know how you know you have to play that role sometimes. But
Hmm.
I always try to stick to this quote I heard Pharrell say on the Ice Cream Skate DVD 20 years ago. It said, you are truly free when your mind no longer realizes boundaries."
Mm.
And I was like, damn, that is freedom because a lot of us spend a lot of time in mental slavery. And for a person like me back then, labeled whore, I couldn't go out nowhere unless I felt like I was fresh.
Yeah.
Until like one of my fraternity brothers, he would get fresh out of a whole thrift store,
Hmm.
change my entire mind. And that
Mm.
was me like embracing freedom. I
Yeah.
don't have to buy a brand new outfit to look nice.
Yeah.
And then when you get into that, you find out thrifting is an entire lifestyle
Yeah.
to
Absolutely.
where people are wearing old clothes. I wouldn't call them moldy, but clothes that's been worn
Yeah.
to the death. And ain't no telling how many owners that had it. And it looks nice. Like, damn, that's a nice jersey you got on. That's a nice bucket hat. And I'm talking about my boy was finding Burberry trench coats, Gucci loafers, polo shirts. Even a guy that I knew who had money. He came from a family of money. He always went to the thrift store to go buy polo.
Yeah. Thrifting is a lifestyle, like you said.
Hmm.
It's an art form. I used to thrift when I was in college and stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah. So just to take it a step further, oh, I don't even know how to ask that. How does the expression come to you to express this message within Price split through sound bites? So you got Stead narrating, which I didn't even know that was Stead's
yeah,
voice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to Steadley.
But he is like he's just as much as the heartbeat as even what you put together for
Hmm.
the project. How did it come to you to this is what I'm expressing through the instruments, through the beats?
Through the music or the story.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean it was just I try to be authentic like with the music, right? So
Hmm.
it's an authentic story that I haven't seen told. Like I said, the buyer is the product today.
Hmm.
So it's just an authentic. I mean, I'm an African American, I'm a black dude. So, it was an authentic story to tell. And there's so many, I mean, just in that little piece, there's so many stories to be told about, the black. I mean, I'm gonna get away from it on the next album because you could spend a whole career on this stuff. But like, it's there's so many stories to be told within that, and I just feel like I got a little sliver. But I think just to tie it together, Stead was perfect. I mean, that those bites were like we would just be in the studio just drinking champagne and just with a mic, and we talk like that on the phone all the
Hmm.
time. You know what I'm saying? So I just had a mic in front of him, and we just were talking champagne a couple hours, and we just chopped it up, and then I cut it all up to fit the narrative. Yeah. So it's just genuine conversation. That's how you like for anybody making things. That's how you get things to happen like that. You just put a mic in the room instead of okay, Stead, we're gonna write it out. Say this, say this. Okay, let's do another take. And it was just a stream of consciousness. So.
So here at the Creative Mindset, we like to talk about mental health.
Hmm.
And I want you to just talk to us about that transition because from, if I heard you correctly, when you first started doing music, it was like the sound, what you're delivering to us now, a sound on tape. And then you went through the journey as your name,
Hmm.
Marcus Allen Ward, and then you came back full circle as sound on tape, but even more successful.
Hmm.
Talk to us to that mindset of when you were transitioning from, okay, I'm bored with this. How did that boredom come about? And what allowed you to keep your head up high to like, all right, this is what I'm about to do and stick to a sound on tape.
I think any artist. I think I don't know why I'm just wired the way I am, just to like create different new things. And I think sometimes that hurts artists to always be trying to do something different than their last works. I mean, sometimes it works great. Kanye or whoever, Prince, Radiohead, these things, but um, some people are successful just doing the same shit over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, Future's great. We know he sounds great now, and he sounded great in 2014. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I love Future. So he's laughing, but
Because I
I'm
know
just saying-
exactly what you said. Like, you being
Yeah.
nice about it, but I get you.
No, but that there's something that is admirable about that too. You know, like I said, I love Future, but when I turn on his record, like I know what I'm gonna get. There's no, you know what I mean? He's not gonna give
Absolutely.
us nothing crazy out the box, you know. So and he's had a, I don't know, 15-year long career. It's great. I'm just wired in the way to like things differently than last time. I don't know why I'm just wired that way, but um, yeah, I'm not afraid to rebrand, and freeze tag was a thing. When I was done with that, went to Marcus Allen Ward. When I was done to that, with that, went to Sound on Tape. So I'm kind of fearless in that way. I think you should be very proud of the things that will proceed your physical state of being. So you got to be really careful about those things that you put out. Because in this lifetime, I can only do so much, you know, talk to you in these conversations, but I'm still watching interviews from Prince and James Brown and you know, even older people, you know, all types of people, Fellini and Steve Jobs, but these things precede you, or precede you, whatever the word is, after death. So you got to be careful about these things that you put out. So I put a lot of time into these works of art that I've been making the last 10 years. So when I do a thing, I'm really got the blinders on, really sure in a thing. And yeah, I just like change, especially creatively, for sure.
Do you feel any sense of peace in your innovation? Because when I'm listening to you talk, I'm just asking myself, like, when you consistently say, okay, that I did this, now I want to try something else.
Yeah.
Is it peace in that?
Is there peace in creation?
In your innovation? Basically, as you continue to challenge yourself, because to repetitively try something different is to challenge yourself. Some people pride themselves in mastering one thing.
Right. No, there's no peace.
So you like the chaos. So you like the chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to understand.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Just the way I'm wired, I don't know. I believe in entropy. You know what entropy is?
I'm not familiar. Please.
Yeah. So like
educate us.
entropy is a quantum physics term for like the universe is ever expanding, right? So they believe that like things start in a solid state but end up in chaos in everything, supposedly, right? So that's the state of entropy. Like I discovered that term when I was very young, but I just believe in chaos of things. I don't like things too clean, too orderly. You know, if something was like super orderly or you know pop music or very pristine, like I just throw something there to fuck it up, like a you know Moog sound or whatever it is. Like I just like dirty things, you know. And I think like if you listen to Price, being from Cleveland, it's gritty. It's got a gritty edge to it. You can hear sounds from sirens, and you know I like field recordings. I like mixing real life in it because these are like, you know, real life is not clean. You know, reality is not clean. You know, so it's just dirty. But no, the reason why I keep making new things is because I'm not. If I was at peace, I wouldn't make new things.
I hear that.
Yeah,
I hear that. You ever heard of the term a rogue planet?
Nuh-uh.
So a rogue planet is a planet that drifts outside of the boundaries of going around orbitally a star,
Okay.
like Earth. So a rogue planet just travels through space,
Okay.
basically at the beat of his own drum.
Okay.
That's you, bro.
Oh, appreciate that.
You're a rogue planet.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
You're not tied to anything.
No. I mean, I done sworn off styles of music over the years. I'm like, I would never do that. I don't like, and then I end up making a record like it. So it's, I can't tell you what I'm gonna do 2 years from now or a year from now or anything. You know, I have album concepts in my mind, but I can't tell you what's gonna happen. It's got to be real and of the moment.
I think that's fire that you find curiosity in the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm a hype it up because that's just such a unique. Even though we have so many people and so many people we don't know about, but I think that's such a unique and a great sound that comes from the city. I took a liking to the style of dance electronic when like Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. When I
Okay,
started
yeah.
listening to like Machine Drum.
Yeah,
And then I had
yeah.
got hip to DJ Rashad like right before he died.
Footwork, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to have like black men even making this sound and this type of music is even fire.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about how the remixes start? Because like I listen to a lot of Kalila. I listen to a lot of Pink
She's fire.
Panthers.
Yeah.
Fire as
Yeah.
fuck, brother. People don't be talking about that woman.
Yeah.
And I know like the people that I like your K Tronada, your Sango,
Mm-hmm.
Trey 05, like these guys get this music and they remix it, but I don't know how that goes on. So how did the remixes of Price come about?
Uh, remixes of Price. People would just hit me when I put it out. Like I got, and we could talk about that later. Just the messages I get and
Mhm.
stuff that just, those things give me some glimmer of peace. But no, those are just producers that were like, hey, I love this. Some of them were like, I would love to remix this.
Mhm.
Some of them I asked to remix, but they all just gave me such just beautiful words on the album when I put it out.
Mhm.
Matt Hours and Late June, I have a record label, 904L. Yeah, puts out our artists, electronic music all across the globe. We release stuff from Paris and here, of course, and London. But yeah, 904L, Matt Hours, Late June is on that. DJ Airwalk is from here. Cardio is from here. And then Byron the Aquarius is from down south. So no, it was fire to get. And Byron I love as a producer as well. It was fire to get. He's probably like the biggest name on the project, but it was great to get him. He's kind of like a legend in dance music. So,
I'm glad you mentioned them because I was gonna mention them. DJ Airwalk, man, that
yeah,
mixes that drum and bass.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
nostalgic, bro. It reminds me of a kid when I didn't know what that music was called.
yeah,
When
yeah,
you would hear it on like Gran Turismo or something like that.
yeah, yeah,
And just to be able to be close and know that that sound could even be made here in the city,
yeah.
that's really amazing. Like, man,
Yeah, I love drum and bass. I love jungle. It started off as jungle, it became drum and bass. Yeah, but I love that kind of music. There's a siren right there.
There you're gritty.
every
But
episode.
yeah. But that's what city we're from. Yeah. So I just that type of stuff I love in the music. Like it'll be a clean pass and then just that thing go by because it's real. Yeah. But I want to say in chaos too. I'm sitting here thinking while we're talking. Like I grew up on my favorite band is the Mars Volta. So they you ever heard of them?
I didn't get hip to them until get them to the Greek. And
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
started
yeah,
that
yeah,
journey.
yeah. They were in that movie. Yeah, that's my favorite band. It's a lot of people. It's chaotic music. I grew up on just chaotic music. I mean, I'm a guitar player, so I started playing heavy music just to learn that just would interest me. And then Federico Fellini is like an Italian filmmaker.
Mhm.
He would just come on the sets and be like, okay, if she's standing there, he's standing. Okay, you get here, you drink that bottle of liquor. Let's get this right here. Dwight, you come over here, let's get you, and build a movie in real time and present. That's kind of how I do it. Like those are the things I gravitate toward. Yeah,
That's awesome that you said the Mars Volta. That's kind of crazy now. It makes sense. Like, but Scab Dates is my shit. But
yeah,
I only like the live one though.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
only
yeah,
like
yeah,
the live one. It seemed like they played that shit with way more soul,
yeah,
man. Like,
yeah,
and then even hearing the crowd reaction and stuff like that. Because when I heard the cleaner version of Scab Dates, I'm like, I'm not listening to this shit. No, it
yeah,
don't have
yeah.
the same love.
Right, right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's out there.
I was gonna say, I just appreciated the fact with the album that most of the songs was 3.5 minutes or more.
Hmm.
Because I was listening to Tina Marie before I put on yours. I was listening. I was listening to
That's-
fucking Square Biz with the kids in the car, and
Yeah,
we was doing what we usually do, just acting the fucking nut when
yeah,
the riff come in and it's just beat
yeah,
and
yeah,
nobody saying shit, you just dancing. I felt like that on a couple of songs, like that vibe of just listen to the music and vibe out.
hmm
Is that always intentional, or y'all just really be kicking it and then you just wind up putting it in anyway?
yeah. Like I said, me instead we're just kicking it, man, and we just recorded it. Just put it in as is. I like to have that some element of improvisation. I mean, technically, because I study jazz guitar, so I like to put some improvised element in every song I make. I would say that, and even
Okay.
a conversation. This is all improvisation right now. There's no notes or anything like that.
I have
So,
notes.
okay, well, I don't have notes. I'm improvising and pulling from the vaults, but instead, that's an improvised conversation, and I don't have a conversation, then I'm putting a keyboard passage in there or some guitar or something like that. Something just has to feel real, and kind of, yeah, off for me.
So what's that process like when you're creating? In my former life, I used to make beats,
Okay, yeah,
and I would always start with drums. I just always started with drums because that's what I felt like I made the best, as well as just percussion kind of being like the heartbeat. And
yeah,
I was like a fiend for 808s too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, how does it start when you're creating?
To nowadays, the piano.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the primary instrument nowadays. I'll sit down. I got a piano in my living room, but I'll write chords. I'm huge on chord progressions. I mean, that's like, yeah, that's everything for me is chord progression. So I just write out a great progression, decide what pocket it needs to be in.
Mhm.
But what I like to do for me, and I think that, I'll DJ, or like, I get all these messages like your music sounds so different, it's unique, and I guess it always has been. But with dance music, I'll say something like, I like to take records like, say, like Price, right, with Sierra Delane,
Mhm.
that doom 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 da doom doom doom. You don't hear that at that tempo, like, it's 130 BPM. You don't hear that pocket in dance music. I like to find these pockets, but all that is a sped up version of ooh, say what, say what, say what,
Mhm.
ooh. It's the same drum, doom doom doom, you speed that up, doom, so they're
Uh-huh.
not dancing that pocket in the clubs, right? So I'll use these like, it's all layered in hip hop and R&B, right? But it's just sped up now. I mean, that's what all, these offshoots of dance music. Like if you look at, I came in like UK garage, right? Like I like just like that sound,
Mhm.
a lot. But if you take a break, everything's built on this thing called the amen break, right? So it's like the Winstons, they made this song in I believe it's the late 60s. The UK took that break, right,
Mhm.
and made UK garage out of it, and then jungle. That's that drum and bass,
And
right?
that's exactly what.
Right. And then you slow it down, you make UK garage. But if you take that same break and slow it down to 90, right? What's that? That's hip hop.
Mhm.
So we all took the same break. They sped it up, we slowed it down. You know what I'm saying? But it's all rooted in it's just breaks. Like, so it's just interesting how like this percussion is the heart of so many offshoots of dance music, but it's also similar just based on the tempo. And that's why I like dance music so much, is like whole genres are based on tempo. Just the speed of the music is like a totally different genre. Yeah. So
Because the whole beginning of rap was off that funky drummer. Um,
exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
like so many different songs,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that guy didn't get no kickback from any of that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's his
Yeah.
drum
That's
riff.
another story, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be the next album, the next
Right.
theme of that. Inspired by the
Yeah.
funky drummer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. So when you creating, do you have a particular person in mind as well? Like, I want this person on this. For prime example, Sierra, because you got her on two project. I mean,
Yeah.
two songs on the project.
Yeah.
Did you have her in mind, or was it just based off your relationship, and then you just happen to be like, hey, you know what? I got something that you will sound great on.
Yeah. No, Price, I did. I sang that. Usually I'll lay down a guy vocal myself.
Hmm.
Price, I sang it. We were in the studio. We were in Mario's studio, and I sang that the hook and had her lay over it. And
Hmm.
then she came with these incredible lyrics, and um, burning out the halftime R&B one. I tried to write that myself. Did a guy vocal, and then she just came and wrote it, and it was just much better. Yeah. So, but no, I do have colors. Like I said, you got to know what colors are on your palette. When I have access to these things, and if I don't have access to, like, say I'm we're looking for a lavender, and I don't have a lavender, I'm gonna go find the lavender. So I'll message somebody, and
Mhm.
from wherever, and try to get it. And yeah, that's one thing I do. I have these visions, and I'll go fulfill them at all costs, even if it costs me. I mean, some of this shit, like these remixes, cost a lot of money. So
I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
it gets real
So
pricey.
yeah, but I mean, thank God the music feeds that. I'll DJ and use the money to make the music. It's similar to somebody building a crazy elaborate stage setup. I put the money back into the music by paying for features or whatever it is. Yeah. Um, lucky that Sierra is great enough to just collaborate with me, and Kyle Kidd, and Stead, yeah, but if I have to, yeah, I'll make it happen.
are these people that you're scouting, or is it along with the DMs that you get where people are just fans and they want to be a part of it? Because I know what even with this stuff we do here, you know, I have people automatically who are in mind who I want to be here, but then there's also people again that I don't know about, and then they'll reach out, and then I'll go look through their stuff, and it depends on what their output is on whether I respond back fast enough. Because if you're not showing me what you do,
Yeah.
then it doesn't give me an opportunity to learn. Then I don't really have much to talk to you about.
Right.
As
Right. Right.
opposed to, you know, somebody who's still putting out stuff every day and told me everything they do, and I can find everything that I need to talk about here.
Yeah. Yeah. And now that you said that, I mean, just on the marketing tip, like what you do should just be, it should be understandable at a glance. Like you said, like you should be able to go to the page and like, okay, this guy is a musician, he's an electronic musician, he's this and that, you know. So you should be able to just look at it and tell what it is. Like you said, the output is a problem for a lot of creatives, you know. And so, like what you were saying earlier, because I was talking to Kyle Kidd, who he sang on that first song, or they, or you know, but we were having a conversation, and Kyle was like, you know, such and such, yeah, he's over in London right now singing, you know, doing a sold out show with Joy Anonymous and stuff, and we were just talking about the career of music because we've been doing this for 10 plus years, and he was saying that one of his cousins like did his first you know, performance on a stage and is walking around acting like he made it at this point. So it's like, but I'm telling him like, you know, for some people, and I believe that 70% of creatives don't even make it out of their basement, right? Like great people, like great musicians, great, you know, photographers or whatever, they don't even get to the point to show it to somebody else. So even showing it to somebody else is a huge step, right? So if you show it to somebody, then you got these people that will perform at church or perform, you know, on holidays for their family or whatever it is, right? That's a huge step. Somebody doing that could be, they could feel like they made it because that's a huge step after that, right? So then beyond that, to get on a stage in front of people and bear your actual existence like that, you know, I think it's unnatural, and I think it goes against the laws of self-preservation. This is why all my heroes and these creatives, and you talk about mental health, like they went out like a ball of flames. You know, all my heroes, Charlie Parker, and you name them, and the list goes on. Whitney Houston and Prince and Michael, like all these people, like go out crazy because we have careers that doing unnatural things, right? Like to be on stage and to be critiqued like that is unnatural. It's against the law of self-preservation, right? But something about it we love. But to get to that point is a huge step. And to get paid to be on stage is you're beating 90% of musicians that never even get to that point. Then to do it in another city, you know what I'm saying? So these things, like I've done all these things, you got to go back and kind of trace your grace in that way. Like, you know, you got to count those things as huge wins, you know? Yeah. So you got to really kind of realize how far I've come. And that's the conversation that we've had. Just being grateful for where it is that we've been doing it so long that it kind of, you take it for granted, but that's a huge step for a lot of different people. Yeah.
I'm just glad I was paying attention because I didn't even know your transition to sound on tape. I happened to be scrolling on Instagram, and thank God they just throw people in your timeline nowadays. And I came across your mix of one of my favorite Kanye songs, top 3.
Oh, Addiction.
Yes. How did that come about?
Me and Mario did the Unknown Phrases. Shout out to Unknown Phrases. He's on the label. He's another dude in the city creating at a high level for a long time. But I love that. I mean, that's one of my favorite Kanye songs of all time. You know, that's up there. So, and I didn't hear any remixes of it, so I just thought, let me just put a spin on it. It's such a dark song.
Facts.
I mean?
It's facts though. But it's facts.
Yeah.
That is the one Kanye song that speaks to my soul.
Yeah.
Even to like it's my funny Valentine slow down.
Yeah.
And then even like with the percussions of the congos, even just that.
Oh man, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like
bruh. Thank you. Thank you. You're the only person I ever knew that fucked with that shit the same way I do.
And it's album cut too. That's the thing, it's album cut. But like with Kanye, like I like that. I like the dark shit, but I guess even you know what? Like I made a playlist the other day of like favorite songs of all time. Like it's a Spotify playlist, and like I put on my IG the other day. Like I would suggest anybody do that, especially when you're in your 30s. Like me. Like when you start to like go back and make a song, because Spotify has every song on there. But it just taught me so much about myself, why I make the music I make. You know, when you think about like the most meaningful songs in your life, just put them all out in a playlist so you can see it. It'll really reveal yourself, you to yourself, But the Kanye songs that made that are the dark, album cuts like, Guilt Trip, songs like people don't even like talk about it, or, Addiction, Everything I Am, like, these things like, the bright ones, Good Life and Gold Digger and Touch the Sky. I never really gravitated towards there, but like, with that thing, I'm looking at my playlist like, damn, like I like a lot of moody shit. Like I like a lot of like just dark music and minor chords. And I don't know why I'm like that. I'm just wired that way. Like I don't, and in creating, I have to consciously break out of making music like that. So that's why like when he like a song like If You're Free, it's uplifting, it's a gospel inspired, like I have to try to make that song because naturally I would make something like Price, like, which if I made a whole album of that shit, like you're like, all right, it's a downer ass album. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to try to make bright songs because it's unnatural to me, like to make major key chord progressions, but it's something that I have to try to just.
I just feel like when you was talking, I'm thinking like, man, why does our generation of music has such a melancholy tone? They say that songs that resonate with your spirit as a middle-aged person, as we go into our 40s, right?
Yeah.
The songs that resonate the most are from our teenage years.
Okay.
And I was like, the songs that I gravitated towards wasn't bright. The poems that I made wasn't bright. To a point, my mom was like, I don't want to read no more dark poetry.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was just unnatural for me to make something bright because my life was just too real. So it was like, what time period for you did these songs resonate the most in your maturation process?
Now I feel like I'm different because I read that most people stop discovering new music after college. You know what I'm saying? In high school, like most people, right? So
It's crazy.
it is crazy to me, and that's what I put up. I'm like, imagine your favorite song still being in high school, your last favorite song discovered. I still discover like my, new favorite songs of all time today, and I'm really grateful for that to be still present. Like I love that Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist album Alfredo 2 that came out at the end of last year. Some of that shit, Lemon Pepper Steppers and Gas Station Sushi, those made it into my favorite songs of all time. So it's like I'm still discovering shit today that can be my favorite, and I really love that about just being present. I mean, you can only get that way if you're present, but music still means so much to me. I don't know if it's because I'm a musician. Like, are y'all that way?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like even like it's a lot of female rappers I don't listen to because a lot of that shit be sounding the same. But like Mellow Bucks, that move shit. Plus, I just like Chicago sound. And Chicago culture. Like,
yeah,
that shit is hard. And then there's another one that she make on Top of Cars. It kind of sounds a little bit like, you know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm not hip. No.
Oh fuck, dude! But it like the move song has like an element of footwork in it.
Okay,
like how it has what is that name of that sound? I guess that'll be like a cowbell that doop, 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 doop,
yeah,
and that's what made me gravitate to footwork because it's kind of like dance, electronic, But she's rapping over a footwork beat.
Wow. Okay.
But I know girls probably ain't doing nothing but twerking over it because I ain't seen nobody footwork to it.
Yeah.
Just having that sound, it just sounds like some shit I would have listened to as a teenager.
Yeah.
Man. It's like, man, you in your 30s. Why you listen to that, man? But
no,
I understand it.
Yeah. It's so many times I'm driving because I make music, for a living, as a profession. But it's like, it's so many times I'm driving that it's like, I'll put on a song that is like, not sophisticated or in any way. Like I'll be listening to like I'll be listening to like Dave Blunt or some shit, right? And it's like I just have to remember like, okay, I'm listening to this to feel good. That's why I like music, you know what I mean? So like it doesn't have to be sophisticated or whatever, highbrow, whatever. Like I listen to music to feel good. I have to tell myself that all the time, you know what I mean? Like when I listen to a song 48 times in a row, like literally. But I'm like, does it still feel good? And if it does, I'm gonna keep listening to that song. You know what I'm saying? So I have to remember the reasons why we listen to music, and like I said, I really have to consciously remind myself of that, because when you're a musician, you're constantly analyzing the music. I just want to get out of a place of analyzing it.
I'm glad you said that
I
because
was
of
about to
that
say
dark
something.
sound that you were talking about. When you're in creation mode and you're making music, what are you listening to? Because the guy who we interviewed a couple weeks ago, I was asking him what is his sound and what inspires him. Because like when I used to listen to make music, I wouldn't try and listen to anything that inspired me because I didn't want it to show up in what I'm putting out.
Mm-hmm.
And even along with that, like when Kanye used to be one of my favorite rappers, and like I was saying, I wouldn't have never listened to Mr. Hudson, or I wouldn't have
Yeah.
never listened to Tom York, or
Yes.
any of those guys, Daft Punk, if it wasn't for Kanye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you need it to make you happy, but what are you listening to so it doesn't go into your music?
Well, the first question you asked, what am I listening to while I'm making an album? Well, I
Yeah.
listen to that, but okay. Last Night I Grew Tentacles.
Hmm.
That's based off a book called Q is for Quantum, like a quantum physics book. So that, like, when I'm making albums, it's not music. It's like source material, like literature or movies or stuff
So
like
you
that.
see sounds too.
Sure, I guess if you want to. But no, a lot of those themes. I mean, that's why it has a sci-fi feeling. That is based off a book. Um, yeah, Q is for Quantum. Yeah, I mean, Price is not based off of musical influences. It's based off of, first of all, my life as an African American, and second of all, you've seen the 13th, the documentary Ava DuVernay. So that's where I first came up with the idea about that, that thing. But the next album I'm gonna make, it's usually not musical influences. It's usually like my favorite movie of all time is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
You seen that?
That's Stanley Kubrick,
Stanley
right?
Kubrick, exactly. Yeah. So that's gonna inform my next album, and so those things, like those things. But you said, what do I listen to just for enjoyment, or outside the album
Well,
process?
just and within the album process,
Yeah.
we can tell us what you do outside the album process, but I really want to know what do you listen to when you're making the album process, because again, sometimes you don't want that to show up. Like
Hmm.
I think about when last call on not late registration, college dropout,
Hmm.
and he was like, yeah, and when I was working on the album, I was listening to Explosive because the drums weren't sounding right,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and when I started making music, that made sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Because when you're stuck in a rut and you know what you want to put out, but it's not coming out the way you want it, what are you listening to help it get out, or to stay away from what is your shit and you don't want it showing up? Because sometimes I hate to talk to a musician or artist and be like, your shit sound like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
certain people take it in a bad way. So I always say, no offense, but it sounds like this
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, that's what I was listening to. That's what I'm inspired. That's my favorite person.
Yeah.
But then to somebody who prides himself on individuality,
Mm.
it's like a diss. Like, man,
Yeah.
I'm me. I don't sound like
Yeah. No. No.
that.
I don't take offense to that. Everything is derivative of something else. But um, no, it's like I have like, yeah, I will stay away from things that are in my genre. Like I'll say that. Like I remember when I was making years ago when that Childish Gambino album came out. What's it called?
With the woman on the
Yeah,
cover.
with the woman on the cover.
I can't remember what it's called.
I never listened to that album. Like I never, and Redbone was on that album. Awaken
Oh,
My
I do
Love. It's
remember
called
that.
Awaken My Love.
Yeah, that
But
joint.
Redbone was on that, and it's a great song. Every song I would just hear in passing is a beautiful song. He makes amazing music. I didn't listen to it though because I was an album. I didn't want to be influenced by my contemporaries, right? So those things I stay away from. So I won't listen to. Yeah, I mean anything like I said, Donald Glover or Anderson .Paak at the time, and people like, oh, you hear that new whatever it was, or even Tyler. I can't listen to those things because you can't unhear something. So I don't want to. And some of those things I never listened. I never got back around to it. But I believe the only way you can push a genre forward is by being influenced by things outside of that genre. That's the only way it's going to evolve, right? So I listen to things outside of the genre I'm making, I would say. But for me, I got some I got like the Holy Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like albums that I reference back to, that I've been referencing back to for the last 10, 15 years. Holy books, there was more, but Mars Volta, Deloused, That's a Burial, Untrue. That's another Bible for me. Radiohead and Rainbows, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. These are things that like those are my holy books. I would say anything else outside of that is really color, but that's the solid core. And then every album I'm ever gonna make has something of those in it. I'm not. It's derivative. Everything is derivative of something else, right? That those are holy Bible, holy books, perfect works for me, right? Beyond that, Rothko. I like Rothko as a painter a lot. I always, if I'm ever uninspired, I go see his paintings. Matisse is my favorite artist of all time. And then Magritte, Rene Magritte, is a surrealist painter. You ever seen the Son of Man, the dude with the suit and the green apple in front of him? It's a famous painting, right? So I go and look at that stuff. Those are holy pieces to me that I always can pull something from, no matter the style of music. And of course, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Fellini 8.5. These things I can always pull from. So those are like I said, that's whatever album I'm working on.
So to wrap it back around, you a hyper consumer too, like a scholar. Like,
Well,
so you pick up books, you get educated, you drive your own motivation about certain things. I do want to know, like, do you feel the same way about cinema? Like, do you have a certain films that you watch for inspirations? For instance, there's certain movies that I watch every year just to see if I can get something different out of it.
Yeah.
Can you say some of those films?
Yeah, like I said, 2001: A Space Odyssey. I mean, that's the best thing. That's my favorite movie. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Michel Gondry is incredible. Christopher Nolan, anything he ever did is incredible. Inception, Memento, Interstellar.
I knew you was
The
gonna say
Dark Knight.
Interstellar.
Yeah, stuff like
All
that.
the quantum physics, you gotta love
so
Interstellar.
he's incredible. Of course, Tarantino's is incredible auteur, and Scorsese, and even Spike Lee. I like anybody that's like I like auteurs, like I said, Fellini, or these people, Kubricks and things. Anybody that has singularity, I'm attracted to. So a very distinctive fingerprint on something, Yeah, but that's the movie I always will watch. 2001, and just really. Yeah, it's just like,
Just a quick Scorsese question, just off the cuff, just because it was a lot of dark and ominous movie in this film with it was Robert De Niro. It was one of his first films when he was a taxi.
What's he talking about?
Taxi.
Taxi Driver, yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. It was just like I felt like now I got a better understanding of how you make music, because that movie was so layered in the development and the arc of the character, and basically making him a killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even that movie, the memorable scene from that movie is when Scorsese would take the camera around and he pans it all the way around the room, 360 in this way, and it comes back. And De Niro's just standing by that window looking outside. It's just like when you have long shot, like I saw a movie, Roma, that just did these long one-shot sequences. You rarely see those things in movies. Or there's a movie called Birdman that was just all shot in one take. But that shit is like like, yeah.
It's just like real eerie.
It gives you but like I say, you rarely see those things in movies. But it just, and today if you see something like that, I mean, Taxi Driver, that was a long time ago. I think it's 70s. But today, if you see something like that, everything is so quick and microwaved. If you even see a long shot like that, it's just so arresting, and it just it just breaks from reality. We're so like hyper influenced by things on a daily basis that if you see a long shot, it just goes such a long way. And
you waiting for the plot in the first 20 fucking minutes now.
And
it's like every movie's not built like that.
Right, yeah. But if you see like somebody, a real creator, a real master do even a shot, that's why I love shots like that. Like, it forces you to sink down that seat a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so but that's why like something like Stead Lee talking on, Pro Nigga or the Buyers, the Product, that's one of those long shots. You know what I'm saying? Like those are those things that I take, like, sit down and listen.
Play that back.
What's
I
the
definitely
last album
played
that you heard that's just a conversation? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that long shot going, and then you get your gratification with the song afterward. Yeah.
Tell us, what are you most grateful for?
I am most grateful to just be in a mental space to create still and have have talent from God. And um, I'm grateful for I will say, I just wanted to say like that whoever watching this, I really appreciate the messages that I get, because I get some like serious messages like on a daily basis, and like, you know, I'll just show my wife, and it's just stuff that like, you know, I'm getting emotional right now, but it's just stuff that you know, people will be like, yeah, you know, this inspired me to do this. Or I mean, some dude, his wife died of early onset dementia or whatever it is, right? I mean, a song called "You Do" off Last Night it Grew Tentacles, and um, he just tells me when he listens to that song, it reminds him of her, and it got him through that time. But I get so many messages like you inspire me and keep going and stuff like that. So um, black kids, like, you know, just you inspire me to. You're the first person I've seen even play guitar and all just like, yeah, just it's hard not to be grateful for stuff like that. And you know, and we are often times I talk about what it feels like to make it, or anybody's definition of making it. And of course I don't, you know, feel as creatives, sometimes you don't feel fulfilled, even if you have, you know, made it or whatever level you're at. Like, they still want more. That's a creative paradox of notoriety. But it's hard to not feel like you made it with messages like that. Just beautiful stuff. People write to me, and I'm grateful that the music I can put out there elicits that kind of response, because that's what I made it for. That's the records that I like made me feel. I wish I could DM James Brown or, you know, T-Pain.
Which James Brown we talking about?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wish I could DM, you know, whoever it is. Like I said, James or T-Pain or you know, Marvin Gaye, or, you know, I just wish I could just tell them just how it feels to experience the gift that they've shared with me. So, and people, this 2026, people are able to do that with their favorite creators. So I'm super grateful for that. But outside of that, grateful for health, of course. My mental health is in the best place it's ever been. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my wife and you know, my family and stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah.
My final question is, if you could have a fully funded feature film, what would the film be about? I typically say what lasting project would you leave, but you like chaos, man. So I'm not about to ask you that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just try to narrow it and put you right on the bullseye. If somebody would fund the whole visual project for you, what would the film be about?
I think, to me, the most, like, I see a film, and I forgot to mention earlier, a film called Wild Style. You ever heard of that film?
Mm-mm.
So Wild Style is a film that they shot. Fab Five Freddy, I believe, put up the money to make this film. This was in the 80s, the dawn of graffiti and the dawn of hip hop. And it might have been the late 70s, don't quote me, but um, this film was made like, I can't even explain. It has a narrative and it has acting. Like, the acting is horrible, but it's mixed with reality.
Mhm.
Like, they were at these ciphers, like when MCing first started, right? So they were on the precipice of hip hop first started. So when you see this, like they'll act like, okay, like, you know, you stole my whatever. Then they'll go into this place and it's real documentary footage of what's actually happening at that time. I never seen nothing like it. It's super fascinating. I wish I could make a film like that and just be on the precipice of something new that's happening, documenting it in real time with a narrative.
We might want to cut that out. That's a great idea.
Well, it's not, yeah, I mean, but I don't know, something new. That'd be like, I guess, I can't think of the last new thing that happened. I guess that'd be like somebody there at the dawn of streaming, or when these streamers took off, you know,
Right, that'd be right.
and filming them with their cameras in their bedrooms, actually it taking off in the early stages, but then there also being like a weird story attached to that at the same time. Like, it's, you know, that movie is just so remarkable for me, and it's like, I wish I could make something like that. Yeah.
That's
But,
dope.
yeah.
You can. So when you first started describing, I thought you was gonna say kind of along the lines of Crush Groove, and I've seen the cover, I've seen the movie, but I never watched it.
Well, Crush Groove is an actual movie like that. That's like a
Okay.
fully you seen
Yeah.
so fully there's a script and there's no reality in it, but check out Wild Style when you get home, man. It's
I
it's
am.
it's
I am.
it's fucking like the show that the climax of the movie is when they do this show in the park, and it's a hip hop show, and it's a real show.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it really happened. That was the first hip hop show there ever, and they caught it on film, but had a narrative by it's just crazy. Like it's just absolutely crazy. Yeah, but yeah, love that
I'm
film.
gonna check it out. So before we get up out of here, tell the people where they can find you. Tell the people how they can book you.
I'm Sound on Tape. It's at sound.on.tape on Instagram, across all socials, soundontape.live. Just DM me. I mean, I have a booking agent, but all that information is on Instagram. So yeah, just grateful for y'all too for having me. Thanks y'all for having me
Appreciate you
so
for
much,
coming,
and
bro.
appreciate the kind words. And I'm just living in a place of gratitude at this point. So yeah, thank y'all so much for
Thank
having
you,
me.
man.
Yes, sir.
Creative Mindset family, Sound on Tape.